Hello, viewers. We have good afternoon here in Pakistan, and there we have our very special guest today, Dr. Suzy Manuela, and she's there in United States. Basically, she's from Romania. She's an educationist, and nowadays she is in USA. She's a wonderful lady. We had a short conversation, and I proposed her to come to our show and share her experiences with the youngsters of not only Pakistan but also the youth of the world. Uh, I would love to have her introduction from herself. Dr.
Uh,
Suzy,
Good morning. Thank you for the invitation. It's an honor for me to be next to you here in your amazing enterprise because I must tell that I was impressed that you are developing an, for the students and for youngs this amazing opportunity to meet people around the world and this possibility of uh, growing their leadership, and that's why I was accepted to be part of your project. So my name is Suzy Manuela Praza. I am from Romania. I am a mathematician since my early childhood. I love mathematics in my fifth grade, and I love my teachers. And due to the fact that I have such role models in front of me, I became later a teacher. I wanted to influence the life of the people, and especially the life of the students, because as I remember, for me, uh, the fact that I had in front of me a great person, a great teacher, it changed my life. And I think this kind of life can make a difference, and it's appropriate for me because can bring me happiness. If you
wow,
want more about me, I can tell you that I was a very hardworking person. I have some vows when I was also young. I vowed to myself that I will help students to succeed in mathematics, that I will support them, that I will be next to them, and I fulfill a part of my dreams. Being a teacher, having students with medals at the International Mathematical Olympiad. Then I wanted to research. I had a period when I worked in researching, and I finalized with my PhD in mathematics. Then I wanted to change the life in my community. I was the principal of my school, the most important school in that community. And after a while, after I reached at a level from where I couldn't learn anything more in Romania, I took the chance to change the system, to change the country, and to go in a place where I can grow, where I can learn. And here I am in United States.
wow, that's really amazing. Uh, Dr. Suzy, I would love to know about that your early education. That what did you study and what did you study at school, then college, university?
Yes, I have my study at the perfect time, as we said. So I finished my high school in my community. It's a small city in Romania. Then I graduated in a bachelor mathematics, University of Timișoara. It's a reputed university, also from Romania, and. After that, I decided to be a teacher. I came back in my community, and I started to fulfill my dreams, to be next to the students, to learn for me, to be a good teacher, to learn for students, to try to grow them, to try to offer them a future. Because I remember at that time in Romania, you didn't have many options as a teenager, and the life in Romania it's pretty simple. I mean, there are the classical profession in the society: to be a doctor, to be a teacher, to be an engineer. There are not many opportunities, and learning mathematics, I wanted to prove my students and to motivate them that learning mathematics can be a way to succeed, can be a way to succeed in job, but also can be a way to succeed as a person. Because once as you have a passion for something, that makes you a difference in your life, that can bring you satisfaction. And that's why I try to attract students more and more to mathematics, and to learn mathematics not only for their future but also for their passion. And I started to grow Olympics. So those students that win Olympiads. There is a great trend in Romania, in Balkans in general, and in post-communist countries. It was a great tradition with the mathematical Olympiad. In fact, it was maybe the only opportunity for students to have another kind of activity than the other school, which I can say that this is in United States, because in United States they have a lot of activities and other types of activities. Anyway, back in Romania, I managed in this way to bring in my community some important prizes that students didn't have before. And this helped me very much to attract more and more students in my journey. After a period, I told you I was all the time as a person interested in cutting edge technology, in cutting edge discoveries, and I wanted to be on the top line in my profession, and I work hard for this. Probably I had some challenges in my personal life when I had to say, hey, I planned my life to be in one way, and then didn't work. What I can do now? And I decided I will be a good teacher. I will influence the life of my students. I will take another path. I will reconfigure my GPS. My GPS will lead me to another way. I can do that. This is the way where I should be. So probably this contributed also to change my mindset, because a very important thing that I get to my life is that I was a changeable person, and I change periodically due to circumstances, because I should adapt, due to the fact that I should keep my principles and keep my truth. If you don't find yourself, and if you don't find your truth, then you are very easy to be lost in this amazing and puzzled life that is never preparing you what to expect. So in this way, I decided this was my way of growing. I will make a vow. I remember since I was a child, because you asked me back in the childhood how I was. I made vows all the time. I made a vow. Okay, I can do math. I will do this. What I can teach students, I will do this. I can be an Olympic. I can have an Olympic. And in this way, I decided that I need to be the best teacher ever. It was my decision, and I try to work hard in this direction, because in fact it was what brought me happiness. I feel fulfilled as a person by discovering my way. So I took my PhD in mathematics. Then I told you I have it was pretty long, because after 2 years after I started this project, I met an amazing students that have an uh, enormous potential. So I decided that I should interrupt a bit my studies and to devote to my students, because with these students can help me to fulfill a dream, to bring him to international Olympiad. This was my dream, in fact, as a student, but I didn't have the support to go there. I didn't have the teacher next to me to help me. And that's why my first vow was that if I ever become a teacher, I will help my students to fulfill their potential, to go to their upper limits. So when I was in this moment of my life, I should take a decision. I will go further for myself to finish my PhD. It was I like it, but it was very challenging. Or I can take a break, go back in my childhood, and let's complete this dream, because I am living through my students. And I took the decision. I interrupted my studies, and I devoted to these students. And indeed, after 1 year, he started to won medals. He started to grow, and we grow almost 5 years until he had the gold medal at International Mathematical Olympiad. And I was proud that I could do that sacrifice. And I think that it's important in life to not only to take for you and to grow for you, it's important also to share. It's important to volunteer. It's important to do good things. Maybe you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel when you start that way, but certainly I believe that this good is coming back to you one day. And I never regretted this step. I had also another experience in this field of international Olympiad experience, from which I can take advantage today, by example. So I can see many benefits. After I finished this, I came back to my studies, and in a few years, I finished my PhD. After my PhD, after this Olympic moment, then I started to change my mindset. It was only the perfect way to see life as a competition. It was the perfect way for me as a teacher to encourage students, only those students that are gifted, or I should be a teacher for all the students. And I changed my mindset. I started to look more at all the students, to focus less on competition, and to look at the classroom as a whole, and to look at each student. I started also to motivate students, because mathematics is in the last period of time in Romania, it wasn't very motivated to learn mathematics. It was tough, it was difficult, students didn't find it interesting. Why we need integrals, why we need derivatives, where we use this. And in this project, I started to go back in my PhD experience, when I had research on the application of mathematics, and I started to find these resources and to implement in the mathematics high school, in the classical mathematics. I started to work on those projects, although I had an amazing team once. I remember a global team, and we won the contest PISA for You Challenge, the online program for improving education in school, and it was a huge joy for me. Every moment in my life, was involved in a project, and I like to be involved, to grow, and to take the next challenge, to take the next step. Because this is another lesson of nowadays, especially in the 21st century. You should be a long life learner. You should be aware that learning is not ending at the end of the high school. If you want to succeed, you should be open to receive any information. You should be devoted to get any information and to prepare yourself. It's like should be ready to be a self-made person. Nobody will come you to take you from your hand and to say, "Hey, I want to make you a businessman. I want you to make you a successful person." No, this is up to you. This is up to your decision. And the most important decision starts with you. Who are you? And why are you here? And I want to say it again because it's very important. Who are you and what are you? What are your strengths? What is your secret of success? What drives you? What driven you until this moment and made you to succeed? You should search into yourself. You should search in your childhood, maybe. You should search to see many times the education of the parents. They brought you this peace that it still instilled in you. I remember back in my childhood that my mom used to say me, learn, learn, because learning you'll get the independence. It was a saying that she used to say all the time. I didn't realize maybe at that time what influence has on me. But reflecting now back to my life, I realized that every time when I had a problem, I overcome this problem by embedding myself in a project of learning and taking the next challenge, go to the next step. So this was my way to succeed, learning. Where this idea came from, it came from there. And I have also I discovered any other ideas that gave me strength. And this is what everyone I think should do, and especially the teenagers, because they are in a continuous journey to discover themselves. They don't know why they are here, what is their role, what, how, how they should choose a way or another. And self-reflection, it's a good tool for growth. You can't imagine this. I didn't imagine this in Romania. It was also a tremendous life there, but it was another pace because it was another century. Here is I am in another century also, but here I learn and I get the confirmation that my thinking was normalcy, because here growing, here being perfect, here trying to challenge yourself and to go to the next level is normalcy. For example, here as a teacher, especially in this period of pandemic, are trained continuously. And I had the opportunity to be trained, and the teachers are trained not only on the content subject, not only on pedagogy, not only on implementing technology in the classroom. No, they are trained also on leadership's level. And it's very good point because a teacher should be a leader in the classroom because teacher change lives, teacher influence lives, teachers set up the things for the future of the students. These students later will remember something from their classroom, from their teacher, or something from their family. And that's why teacher and parents are the first one who make difference in the life of the students. So, bringing back here in these leadership courses, by example, or we have courses about communication, about, I realize how many, how focused, how proficient are these people here in United States to be aware of all these implications at any level. And that's why I took my advantage here to learn continuously. So this is my pacing here. I'm doing my job and I'm trying to do my job at high stakes and to catch up the difference, the sensory difference that I had from Romania. And although I'm trying to learn and to grow as a teacher, as a person, as a human. And what is hard to in my country, I don't know how it is in your country, but in my country it was hard to bring people to this way because they don't have opportunities to learn. They don't have opportunities to grow. They don't have opportunities to understand how is the civilization. Here in the United States, everyone is everyone is focused as in the mindset of growing. And that's why they achieved so much because people are giving everything to their job. It's not like in my former country, a job was a part of my life. No, here job is a lifestyle. Job is your life. In generally anyway, if you are not happy with your job, you cannot be a happy person. That's why for teenager it's very important when you choose their job to analyze themselves and to see themselves. May I do this? Can I do this all day long? Can I do this with passion? Can I do this such that to be happy in this setting? Because from uh, I don't know, later in life when you are not so young, job becomes your life. It takes the century, the mass of center is going from you as a person and you as a social point in a community, I don't know, in your circle of friends. I'm thinking now a teenager. So this mass of center is shifted to yourself in your inner circle, and it's shifted very much to job. So thinking about future, I'm thinking about who I am. I'm thinking about my possibilities to go. I'm thinking about my job as a part of me.
Very nice, very nice. It's really amazing to hear you. Let me share with the viewers that viewers, many are wishing here. Elena is saying about your interview. She says, great interview, so inspiring, Suzy. And we have more viewers as well. It is Assalamu alaikum. We say it is in Urdu language, which means in English, peace be with you. It means it's just like hello. It is just like welcoming remarks. So
Oh,
viewers,
thank
you
you
can
so much.
see the journey.
Thank you for much
Viewers, you
for
can
this welcoming.
You are most welcome. Viewers, you can see that Dr. Suzy, her journey is not only the journey based on struggle, but it is inspirational. And the first thing you can learn from her experiences, the first thing is there that never ever stop learning. Learn. Learn, even you can learn one thing a day. Because learning is something will take you higher and higher in your thinking process. It will take you higher and higher in your vision. It will make you something really the best one you can be. Second thing you can learn from right now, as much she has shared with us, that see, nothing is difficult. People think that mathematics is a difficult subject, but once you love it, once you want to do it, and it is not only for mathematics, but you take it for anything. Anything you want to do it, just fall in love with that thing. And then see that how does it happen. Like yesterday, we discussed that, passion and profession. When your profession becomes your passion, and once your passion is your profession, it means you have achieved everything.
Yes, indeed. So for me, mathematics, it was like the perfect world. It's a world when the theories, the concepts, the action, and the final products are fitting perfectly. These things, of course, doesn't happen in real life. But why mathematics is important in education? Mathematics, it was. I have a great quote of a Romanian mathematician, and I share this quote every day with my students. So he used to say that everything is correct thinking is mathematics or susceptible to be mathematics. So everything is correct thinking could be math or susceptible to be math. And I'm saying that again because indeed in life, everywhere you want to accomplish something, by example, let's say that you have a goal, you want to accomplish it. How you'll do to accomplish this? Because this cannot come from nowhere. You make a plan, you make steps, you make a reason. So you start from the beginning to understand exactly what is the goal. So you start from the concept. Then you start to research. So you try to explore around the concept to see what opportunities can you find to link with your concept. So you start to explore because you want to make connections, you want to develop a theory, you want to prove something, you want to accomplish something. Then after you have so many options, and you have another perspective, not only the first perspective of that goal, you start to find a solution. How you find the solution? You make trials. You start to trial, you start to implement to see how it works. Then later you go and take your decisions because you check some initial conditions, you check some of the final conditions, and you start to make decisions. Then you choose maybe your solution, then again you implement and you see if it works, if it's not works. You should be ready to improve it, you should be ready to adapt what? Constant variables, inputs, outputs. So we can speak everywhere in terms of mathematics. And everything is algorithm. Everything that is stepped is mathematics. Here in the United States, math is everywhere because you can't do any step here if you don't read a procedure. When I came here, I was overwhelmed about this procedure. Oh my God, because I'm living every second. Every second is important, and I didn't have time to read these procedures. Now I understand that without these procedures, things cannot be fulfilled in a professional way. So that's why mathematics is important because it set up your thinking in a way that leads you to a solution to a problem. Being a math person means being a person that is searching, a person that wants to grow, means a person that never stop until he find a way to come out from a situation. And doing mathematics every day, it trains your brain to make connections, to research, to ask yourself questions. And this is a very important ability, because in life you can't get everything how you receive it. You should internalize the thing. You should compare with your inside and to reflect, this is good for me or not, this is good in general or not. Am I manipulated in this action? I should take a decision. I should see another perspective. So this kind of thinking is specific to mathematics. Because in math, this is what you are doing. You understand some steps, but don't do it mechanically, because you try to make sense. And this is the key. Math help you to make sense of the things. Everything what happened to you, everything, every question, every happening, it is under this question. It does make sense. If you have this training to question everything what you are doing, you can see that you are a lucky person, because finally life, it's like a labyrinth. It's very puzzled. It's not so obvious. You have an experience, and you think that you learn from experience, and you are very confident that next time you'll do better. But it won't be a next time, because experiences are not the same. They are not to repeat it. And many times, experience are opportunities. And if you lose an opportunity, you may regret maybe all your life. That's why preparing to receive opportunities is part of your growth, of your job. If you prepare and if you grow and if you work and you are one step in front of the others, one step in front of the things, then opportunities arise to you. I can swear that. I can guarantee that. So that's why it's important to be one step ahead, to be a visionary. Everyone is a leader in a way or another. There are many types of leaders, of course. There are that servant leaders, that leader that usually serve very well the others' purposes and tasks, and also there are thoughtful leaders. So most of us are between these parts, and most of us are our center of mass as a leadership is to servant leaders. But in this journey, is important to have your own vision about your life, because finally you are the person that take the challenges, you are the person that overcome the challenges, and you should be prepared to raise your confidence in yourself. How? By doing, by accomplishing, by maybe when I start learning, I started to learn for my parents or for my teacher to impress them. And then I discovered that in fact this helps me. I found a way how to use learning from my happiness, how to be happy from my work, how to grow for me, and how to not to rely my success in life in another person. Because when you relate too much with another person, it happens many times that you give the control of your life to other person. I don't say now that I don't have an emphasis of relationship. No, this is very important to build relationship, to have relationship, because humans are social persons, and we grow together, we work in teams, we collaborate in teams, we live also in families and so on. But what I'm trying to say is that decision of your life should be on you. So that's why another thing that you should manage is not, because we talk about career, we talk about job, we talked about how to grow, uh, we talk a bit about relationship, but we didn't talk about this emotional part of ourselves. So we are human, we are exposed to all kind of interactions with events, with people, with happenings. What happened with us? We are a bunch of emotions. Sometimes these emotions lose control and we see around. Depression is the disease of the society. How can we avoid this? And this is also another exercise that involves a bit of mathematics, because it's about managing your emotions and managing other emotions. In psychology, it's called emotional intelligence, and every leader should know emotional coefficient of intelligence. Every leader should know that in order to succeed, you should be at first self aware of your emotions, then you should be yourself aware of the emotions of the others. Because many times you said, I was nervous today. He upset me. He did me. No, you should not be yourself the prey of these emotions. Because this is the point when what I was referred to before. You gave the control in that moment to another person. Just try to focus what upsets you. Just try to dig in to see what upsets you, because you can't change the others, but you can change yourself. You can understand yourself. And when you reach at that level that you are not the prey of the others, to play with your life, to play with your happiness, to play with your emotions, then you know how to pursue your goals and to find your way. Because if you are not doing this, many times the waves are dragging you back, and every time you take a step ahead, you'll have also a lot of your acquaintances or maybe friends that try to drag you back. What are you doing this? Why are you doing this? This is not good. This is not for your benefit. That's why you should know yourself exactly what you want to do, because most of the time when you have a goal, this goal is not accepted by the others. And don't be influenced by this, because this is the way of being. Unanimous approval is illusive, so you should not rely on this. That's why you should know exactly what do you want and what is your way, and you should evaluate your circle of influence. This is also important, how much the others are influencing me. It's a good relationship, it's a toxic environment, it's a so there are a lot of sort of things that you can learn, how by informing yourself, by learning yourself, but by internalizing. So don't take whatever you hear, take and just get it into your insight, into your life. You don't adjust, you don't reflect, you don't. No, it's not like that. That's why I told you before that mathematics gives you important skills of thinking and of analyzing and of reasoning. So question yourself, why I am doing this, why I should take this decision. Should I believe this? This will work for me. Let's see the plan. Let's make the connection. Let's see if it is make sense. So, in my opinion, in education, we need, of course, all kind of discipline of kind of study objects, but mathematics gives us some tools of training our mind to question, training our mind to find solution, to explore, to make sense, to find a way that work. Recently, and many times in mathematics, I had the uh, chance to get very close to some I don't know, some courses to lead and to teach them later. It wasn't my course, but many times I should use this mathematical thinking tool that I built during the time, because the things didn't make sense. So the courses maybe weren't very clear, were confusing, and I didn't question myself after so many years, because I knew it's not about myself, it's about that exterior influence that comes into my life. So that's why I tried to make it work. I tried to find the sense, because the sense it is there, but it's hidden. It's not many times visible to everyone. So that's why we have today leaders, and to have inspirational leaders. We have also people with a high sense of wisdom. From that we learn from, because these people see beyond the things. So, in order to be a successful person, in order to be a person that is guiding and is leading his life, her life, you should learn how to build yourself, how to be a leader, how to see the things beyond the happenings, beyond the appearances. That's why I'm encouraging all the time students to learn mathematics. And in my classroom, I'm coming with examples and with applications, not only from real life, but I'm coming also from the emotional life. Students, they like this kind of application of discussions about relationship, because it's their age, they have friends, they are in love, they build relationship, they have their insight about this. And when we discuss and when we put everything in a concept, any relationship, let's see, it's a function, it's not a function, has an inverse, it doesn't have, and we transpose this concept in real life relationship. They like it, and they start to make sense, and they start to acknowledge that things are not easier as they seem. Because if you don't have a concept structure, you don't have a vision, you can take the things how they are coming, and you can draw a conclusion, and you can transform these things, maybe not in the correct way. Nobody said that have the correct key to here, but one thing is clear: as more as you know about things, about theories, about concepts, and as more as you have an educated mind, educated soul, educated spirit, as more you make sense, and you can go around the truth. You can converge to the truth. You can come with your insight, with your truth, and to find your truth in this scenario. So this is life, in my opinion, and this is the way in which you set up your pattern. And this reflection part, I learned it very much about this reflection part here tremendously, because here, as I told you, it's a crazy life. It's a crazy pace of living. You every second almost is important in your day. But when, as I said before, when you learn how to stop and start and to reflect, then you try to find the sense. And I like this very much in this American education system. By example, in the school, of course, we have a lot of procedures, a lot of standards, a lot of professional development, how to efficientize the delivery of the content in the classroom. Because it's not only about the accuracy of the content. In Romania, it was about accuracy of the content, to know the content and everything will be fine. No. Here we have another century in advance in terms of pedagogy, in terms of strategies, and in terms of digital content. In Romania, I was the teacher that delivered mathematics and influence for mathematics, and this was all. If I'm looking back, I didn't learn in the education system 30 years almost, nothing to go. I learned by myself because I was a self-made person, but the system didn't learn me because it was a century ago. It's another century. Here, when I came here, I learned in 2 years continuously professional development, continuous training, continuous. Every second is important. When a principal comes in your classroom, he notices everything. You should be perfect. He notices if your timing is not good, if every second is not very very well exploited in the benefit of the student, because here indeed, here the student is in the center. When you come in the classroom, you should know your student. This is your first priority in your first month of school, to know your students, to know their learning styles, to know what motivates, what there are their interests, to know what is the pace of learning, and then you come to adapt to each student or each group of students. You don't teach like the whole class, like the whole students. This was, I told you, my former country. Here, you teach for every student. And of course, it's challenging, but you learn how day by day to grow and to be in this challenge and to be in this complicated system of education. And instead of this craziness, so it's very complicated. That's why teachers here are really heroes. And I can't describe all the competencies and all the accountability of the teachers here because it's a long story. But what I wanted to tell you, and I will go back to the point, what I like here, because at the end of, I don't know, any observation, the principal used to tell me, reflect after each day. Reflect after each day. What worked, what doesn't work in your classroom, make a plan, and next day come back with the plan and fix that thing. And I listened to him. I realized that they have a great point here. Even if it is a crazy and tremendous rhythm of life, and you have a lot of responsibilities, I should find the time to reflect. And I did this. And every day was a challenge because every day it's a journey. Every day you are a teacher again. Every day you go in the classroom where it's possible to not see things that are moving forward. But you
Right.
should believe in this. And
Dr.
you can
Susie,
do it.
amazing. And I'm just giving you a little, uh, breathtaking time so you can just get re-energized to tell our viewers more. Here is one of your, I guess, student from the past, Alexandra. She says that missing my best teacher, you are a great inspiration for us. You involved us in incredible projects and always gave us the best advices. So,
Yes, she was one of my favorite students. She was amazing student, and I miss her.
oh, that's great. She is also missing you. This is a relationship, uh, starts which can never end between a good teacher and a good student. I mean, a good teacher means the one who gives 100% for teaching the children, for teaching the students. While on the other hand side, good student who really gets inspired from such kind of teacher who is giving all the efforts to make that person understand. We have another one. She says, great to listening you, Ms. Suzey. So thank you, because if you are enjoying, so for a teacher, this is energy actually. When somebody is understanding, somebody is listening. So I'm sure that, Dr. Suzy must be very happy with it. Right. So there we have again Elena. She says, great interview. Congratulations, Suzy Manuel Prajea. Always shining. You are an inspiration for us all. I would request to all the viewers that if you have any questions coming in mind, you may leave, or any statement you want to give, you may just leave in the comment box. So in between, we will interrupt and ask Dr. Suzy about it. Dr. Suzy, a lot of things you have, and it is not the first and last session with you. Definitely, we would love to listen to you in the coming programs as well. Uh, I want to listen about you have done a lot of work on 11 keys to happiness. So if you could please explain each key one by one in short, so our viewers can be having benefit of it, would be great.
Yes, thank you for this message. It was it was rewarding, and this is one of the reasons from why I'm still teacher, because it's a hard job, especially here in United States. But although it was in Romania a challenging job, but making content and bringing a motivation in my students' life was, as I told you, my way of rewarding. It leads my way to happiness, because happiness, finally, in life, in my opinion, is not what is coming from one single relationship. So when I was young, I started a journey by dreaming that I want only a family and 4 kids. This was my idea, to have a family and 4 kids. No career, nothing. I didn't want anything. I was betting, I wanted to bet on this. I will forget mathematics. I learned mathematics when I was a student, I was Olympic, but I don't know. I had this feeling to have a family and 4 kids. It
Uh,
didn't happen that way.
Sorry for interruption.
Yes,
Why 4 kids exactly? Not
I don't
five,
know.
not three.
I can't tell you what was in my mind when I was a teenager, but it was my dream. And it didn't happen that way. It didn't happen. I didn't. There were. I want to describe my personal life, but it didn't happen that way. And I should reconfigure the GPS. Find another way. Find another way and work for your happiness. Maybe this isn't for you because you tried. You tried. You did it. You tried to make it safe. It didn't work. So this is another key of happiness, to be ready to pivot. To pivot when you are doing all the things in the world and it's still not working. Don't waste your potential there. It's not for you. Or maybe it's never working. Life is too short to try to make impossible things to work. Some things are impossible, some things are not for us. Another key of happiness, because finally happiness is what you build by yourself. I was educated by my mom, who educated me a lot of great things. But although he kept repeating me that be a good girl, learn, be in your place, and the prince will come on the white horse. Oh no, it wasn't that way. And here I'm keeping telling her, do you remember what was your conception? So, not all the time you expect what you dreamed, because your dream should be realistic and should be anchored in the reality. That's why I advise for reflection and for judging every influence that comes to you. At that age, I wasn't able to judge everything, judge in the sense to judge for me. So, to see if it is appropriate for me, I just took them. I just took them. That's why we need a potential and the capacity of science in the back, a science that cannot be seen at the first sight. Because finally, what we see at the end of the day, we see the amazing leader, we see people that are making tons of money, we see a lot of successful stories. The way the road was not easy, the way in the back of this success, it's a tremendous and unimaginable part of hard working, of hard control, of discipline, and is that iceberg, if you remember, that have all the part embedded in the ocean, and we see only the top of the iceberg. So this is the story here, and that's why in you should know how to raise up yourself, how to be resilient. Challenges are everywhere, so all the time you are in danger to fail. You are in danger to fail. What is failure, in fact? Failure is it happens when you invest a lot of resources, a lot of work, a lot of soul, a lot of passion to build something, and this is not developing as you wish. So this is a kind of failure. But if you embrace your failure, failure are not finally a bad thing, because you grow due to that failure. You should analyze that failure. Hey, what happened here? How it happened? How can I influence the outcome of this enterprise? Where I should change? Because as I said before, you can't change the others, but you can fix yourself. You can set up yourself. It's about setting up. I set up myself how to manage my emotions, how to manage, because I was a frailty person when I stepped in life. I was very sensitive. I was very easy to distort by others. And I started to set up myself because they harm me. I didn't want to be harmed. But I understand that this is coming from me. It's coming from me, and I can fix this. And I did fix this. As I told you, the resilient part. Okay, I have a thing that is not going as I want. I'm feeling that I'm falling down. Oh no, no, I will start how to fly again. While I'm falling, I preparing how to fly again. I prepare the plan B, the plan C. So this is another constant of the success. Be ready to switch. The things, to falling down the things, to lose things, it's part of life. It's normal. Be prepared to meet these things before they're happening. Have a growth mindset, have a mindset that can shift, and you can avoid such tragedies as depression. I talked before about depression. I saw depression many times around me. And I think it comes from a lack of management of this depression. I fixed this 20 years ago. I read a tremendous book about depression, The Anatomy of Depression. And when I read that story, that was a tremendous story about lives lost life due to this terrible disease, I made another vow. I can control this. Any bad things can disrupt me more than 48 hours. No, it can disrupt me more than 48 hours. And I did this. I couldn't believe that I can do it, but I did it. And I am also in this pattern. So now I'm more or less than 10 hours. I'm somewhere below few hours, something to disrupt me. So I am prepared. How? By self-reflection, by discussing more with myself. Many times we don't have time to discuss with ourselves. We are living in a crazy style, in a crazy pace. We are trying to accomplish all the time, and we run from discussing to ourselves, to face ourselves, and to speak the truth to ourselves. Outside outside we are not ourselves. We're trying to be, but many times we are not ourselves because we are working on some norms. We can lose our essence. That's why it's important. Come to you, speak more to you, look inside to you. Try to find what is your sense, what are you here. How do you feel that? What it was upsetting you? How can you fix it? And you'll see that this reflection moment that you have with yourself will be the more precious on your life. You raise your confidence, you find a way to succeed, but don't be afraid to confront with yourself, because here is the essence in you. And that's why I believe in the power of self reflection and power of reflection generally. When I was principal in my school in Romania, I had a group there that it was against me. 6 years maybe. A group of about 30%. This is usually the percent that you have your opposite, 30%. But it was an aggressive group. They try all the time to disrupt my activity, not to build, to disrupt my activity, to not succeed. Because I was a successful person. I had all the televisions coming after me for accomplishments of my accomplishment, my students' accomplishment, my school accomplishment, because this was me. This was me to growth. And I started a bit to disrupt some mindset. Hey, who is that person? Especially imagine a communist setting. If you can imagine, you can't, but I will tell you how it is. In a communist setting, everyone should be the same. If you try to be different, if you try to work more, the others feel they are threatened. They want to eliminate you. This thing is not here. In United States, if you work, everyone is exciting. Everyone embrace you. By the way, today now my colleagues tell me, hey, ask the queen of technology. Susie is our queen of technology to show us how it is. So they embrace my growth. When I came here, I didn't see the buttons in the learning management system because they were so many. They were so many, and I didn't know where to what, and it was so overwhelming. And now they are telling me, hey, where is Susie? Hey, Queen, come here. Show us how it's us. So imagine how much I grow. I grew here. So that's why I'm trying to set in. You should find your way and you should don't look what others think, because other many times they are not agree with you. And this was my former country, the communist mindset. So to be against me, to disrupt me, they couldn't stop me, they try in different ways, using complaints, using all the institutions of Romania came to check me what happened, what I'm doing here. But they didn't find anything because I was only working. And in the final, they didn't overcome this obsession. They tried to have me when I didn't was principal, and to make my life a hell. They took me in the trials. I spent 6 months in the trials with lawyers to prove that I'm innocent. So this was the top. And then when I said, before they started the trial, I said, here it's a very toxic environment. Here I don't have anything to learn. I should go. I should leave. So this is what I said before, that idea. Be ready to shift. Have a plan B. And my plan B was always that if I am expert in my field, an expert in my field, I will find my way, my place on this amazing global world. Because we are living in a global world, I'm not relying on that country where maybe I could end up in a prison if I was in the communist setting, or maybe even today, you don't know. No, because I relied on my plan B. And my plan B was always be a step ahead of the event, be a step ahead of everything, be on the edge of the wave, and you'll find a way. And while before that trial came, I won that trial, doesn't matter, I won that trial. I, I, they couldn't, they wanted only to disrupt me. They only wanted to harass me to leave. Okay, I will leave. If this will make you happy, I will leave. I'm sorry for my student. But for me, it's an opportunity to grow. What is the problem? Many times we rely on this definition. Guys, what is a problem? It's a challenge. It's something that we should try to accomplish. No, a problem, it's an opportunity to grow. Try to see it in that way. So that problem, I knew that it was my opportunity to grow, because I was in a way too emotional, and I was too related to that community. But I had the mindset that I can go to plan B and C. And I prepared, and I didn't want it to take intermediary steps, to move in another place in Romania and to start the mindset fight again. No, I didn't have, I learned everything in that system. I know that system. I will try what I see here on this Facebook. Hey, we need teachers in United States. We need math teachers. Okay, this is me. I will apply here. I don't know. I didn't know at that time English very well. Not even now. Not even after 10 days, I won't speak like a native American. But I took that challenge because I relied on my profession, on mathematics. On mathematics, I read a lot of English, and I prepared for my PhD. I prepared for international Olympiad. In this way, I learned English through my profession, and that came an opportunity. That transformed in an opportunity later. So that's why I'm keeping telling this to my students. Every opportunity of learning could be your exit door in the future, could be your trampoline in the future. You don't know when you need it. So don't waste it now. And this was my story. And I came here and I started to grow here. It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. You should have a tremendous ambition and desire to succeed, but this wasn't my challenge. No, my challenge wasn't the ambition and the desire to succeed because I this was setting up many years ago. My challenge here was to learn continuously and to try to speak English better, which is not very easy, especially with this sweet southern accent, because they have a special accent. And but I'm happy that I did this. So that's another lesson of a life. Today it happens. Maybe you see that is the end of the world, a very bad thing. Don't think like that. Transform this in an opportunity. After 2, 3 years later, if you transform it in an opportunity and you look back and you think, hey, do you remember when you said that your life will end at that moment? It didn't end. Look what you are today. So that's why I'm trying to tell that the pressure should not become an issue, because I think I never had depression, but I reflected on it and I had friends that had depression. I think that to be an active person and to find a solution of the problem, this can cure depression. The static, the static of uh, keeping the things on the same way, these embed and imagine depression. But if you act, grow, change, move, shift, then you can overcome this. And one good thing to avoid any state of this type is to be in action. So be an active person. Start a project. Work. Work is the best cure to disease, a psychological or an emotional issue. This is my experience.
Wonderful, wonderful. Ms. Suzy, we would love to go on, but I think that we can just, try to conclude today's session because we have crossed more than an hour and 11 minutes. But we want to listen to you further on. And the next, I would request you that we will fully focus on that 11 keys to happiness because today's your interview. Today you're sharing what we could learn. There are a lot of things to learn. I cannot explain in short, but the first thing I would like to tell through my observation for my viewers, for our viewers, that see a lot of questions, especially from the youngsters, come that we are failing and we are not able to pass. So try to learn one thing from the life of Dr. Suzy, that change the plan. There is no single plan that this is the plan. If you could not do it, you would not be able to do anything. If plan A fails, go for the plan B. If plan B fails, go for the plan C. And from A to Z, if all plans fail, then start from the digits. And digits do not ever end. You may go, and this should be the optimism and really inspirational from Dr. Suzy. And the second very interesting thing, she just said the two words, and we would love to listen her in the next session. That is about the growth mindset. There are two mindsets. One is the static mindset, and the other is growth mindset. Static mindset is, as she talked about that communist setup. So I can understand because I have studied little bit that how do they want people to be. So only those people can be successful who think that they are what they are. There is no word of change. But the growth mindset always thinks very differently. As she did not know the English. Being a teacher, when you have to communicate and you do not know the language of communication, it is the hardest thing I feel. And she overcame it, she did it, And now you can listen to her. She's speaking excellent. We are understanding very well. It's not our native language either, but I can feel that the way you have overcome this problem, this is just because of growth mindset. Growth mindset is which always adopts. Growth mindset is which is always ready to learn a new thing, which is always ready for a change. And a thing we were discussing yesterday in a session is being repeated by Dr. Suzy. That is, know yourselves. If you know yourself, you can make yourself happy. You can optimize yourself. You can build your capacity. You can motivate yourself. And you can be keep going wherever you want to go. One very interesting thing I could learn from your talk is we do not need to worry always about the people around us because everybody does not want us to be successful. Everybody does not feel happy or change because majority of the people around they are with this static mindset. They are the same kind of people who have the life and the same life they live and they die, and there is no change in their life. And when somebody is trying for a change, so they don't feel it happy. They can't digest it actually. They start feeling, oh, this person has become an alien, trying to do something new, something different. So do not worry always about the people around who can be called the leg pullers, who can be called the haters, who can be called those who don't want themselves to do anything and they don't want you to do anything. Continue your journey because you are the traveler of your journey and you are the one who has to travel. Nobody is coming to travel at your place. You are the one who has to travel. So be prepared for your journey. Make yourself upgraded, updated for your journey. Work hard for your journey. Make struggle for your journey. Have the efforts for journey and be prepared for the sacrifices. See, the life is full of these things. When you do them, definitely you come to know something new, you come to learn something new. So I am really very thankful to Dr. Suzy for today's wonderful session, all the viewers who joined us and many of the viewers who will be watching this video on YouTube. uh, I'm really thankful to my today's guest, Dr. Suzy Manuela. She is a wonderful educationist, a mathematician, and right now uh, she's residing in USA. We will be coming back with her. She's just like, I feel like that, she would be our permanent kind of, at least guest at least once a month. We can request her for a little time and we would love to listen her again. Thank you very much to you all. I recommend you all that once you, uh, before leaving, please do subscribe our YouTube channel. It is where you're watching right now with the same name, Atiq Raja. And we have another international channel recently launched with the name of Hope TV International. You can see the logo in the corner, Hope TV International. You can subscribe these both channels. You can follow us on the Facebook as well. And if you have any more questions from Dr. Suzy, this video is going to remain here. You can leave in the comment box and we can contact her again. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for this opportunity, and thank you to all your viewers and all our listeners. And I want to greet them and to wish them the best luck in their profession, in their life, and hope to hear them or to see them soon.
So nice of you. Thank you very much. Dr. Sudhi, please stay with me. I'm going to end the live broadcast, then we discuss.